Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Three Book Theater, and my God, there is some interesting news to talk about right now involving Zack Snyder, the DCEU, and whether or not he still is the man for the damn job. Now, this news is definitely something you take with a grain of salt. Okay, I just want to make that abundantly clear. This is something you take with a grain of salt. We don't quite know if this is true or not, but man, deep down inside, I wish. I hope against hope that this thing was true. I hope against hope that this thing is real. And let's definitely talk about it right freaking now. So, Zack Snyder apparently helped save Aquaman from damage done by Whedon in Justice League. Let's just quickly, before diving in, let's quickly address Justice League. Look, was it a good movie? It depends. Some people out there really felt that way. Was it an okay movie? Yes, 100%. Did Joss Whedon attempt to copy Zack Snyder's tone and style? Yeah, a little bit. Did the powers that be at Warner Brothers want Joss Whedon to come in and punch it up like it's an Avengers movie? Absolutely. Did that kill the tone of the DCEU at that moment in time? 100%. 100 damn percent. But apparently Zack Snyder had a little bit of input with Aquaman that really helped it become the billion-dollar earner that it is. Saying here that Zack Snyder earned his Aquaman executive producer credit by helping shape the Arthur Curry character. Snyder left Justice League right before the project was going into its lengthy and costly reshoots. Joss Whedon was brought in to take over, which resulted in a markedly different tone from what Snyder had originally had in mind, and has caused a pretty big stir amongst DCEU fans. That's true, and they're still also calling for the release of the Snyder Cut, because it needs to happen at this point. Now, it says here that it appears that Snyder helped James Wan steer Arthur Curry character away from what Whedon had done to him. Justice League features Jason Momoa's first take on Arthur Curry, and it is a lot different from the character we saw on the big screen in Aquaman. Neil Daly, an independent freelance market research analyst, has taken part in test screenings for many of the DCEU projects, including Justice League and Aquaman. He alleges, now this again, I want to make that abundantly clear. You want to make sure that this is one of those things that's looked at as being allegedly. It is allegedly real. But I think deep down inside, I want to believe. I want to believe that this is real because I think it's. I really think deep down this is what happened, to be honest with you. Now, he alleges that most of the teenage boy sexual humor that came from Joss Whedon, which is why Curry spends a lot of the previous movie trying to hit on Wonder Woman. He explains here, we would have gotten a whole movie about Aquaman basically fawning over Mera the whole time and making all kinds of dirty jokes and things like that. They really had to get away from that, which is all that Whedon had done. And yeah, they kind of did turn Aquaman into a bit of a frat bro in Justice League. Now, I'm not saying that as a negative. I actually really enjoyed, Momoa's performance in that movie. I did. But I understand, yeah, it was definitely a tonally different character, one that was all about family, heart, and heritage. And I thought that was interesting. I thought that was really interesting for Aquaman, and one of the reasons why I think the movie did as well as it did. Now, it says here that since Snyder was one to originally cast Jason Momoa as Aquaman, James Wan reached out for some help in shaping the character. It's been reported late last summer that Snyder was getting an executive producer credit on the movie, which surprised some fans. However, it looks like he was involved a lot more than originally thought. This is what Neil says. He says Snyder had a bit of influence on Aquaman. James Wan was showing Zack Snyder, against the studio wishes, cuts of the movie and early test screenings and storyboards to make sure that they're on the same page with what he had originally wanted. And Snyder gave his blessing of approval, bringing back to what he wanted all along. Now, that to me is an interesting thing, because if that's what it is all along, right? That would show us that ultimately the dark, brooding aspect, the grimdark DCEU beginnings, were actually leading into something more heartfelt, open, and fun. I don't know how much of that I truly believe, to be fair. I kind of like the darker aspects of the DCEU. I happen to be one of those few that do, and a lot of people out there don't, and that's totally fine. But I dare anyone to go look at the Batman fight scene in the warehouse in BVS and tell me that's not like the greatest Batman fight scene ever, if not one of the greatest fight scenes ever. So there were some good elements in what Zack Snyder was up to. And I think had certain things not happened, it would have been a bit better of an experience. But if this is true and James Wan went to him, that shows you that Wan believed in Snyder, because Snyder's the one that I believe hired Wan, isn't he? I could be wrong on that one, but I believe he's the one that hired him. And because of that, Wan wanted to make sure that he was falling in line with what Snyder wanted. And this is after Snyder had left the project. So he didn't have to go and give anything to him. He didn't have to go and seek, help and approval and blessings from the previous, leader of the pack. But what that should tell you, and what Warner Brothers should be doing everything they can to squash this particular rumor, is that there is no faith in the powers that be at Warner's, that there is no faith in the powers that be at the DC Comics or DC Films, that there's just no faith in those people. Those executives did not know what the hell they were doing. So in order to try to make sure that the movie itself was as good as it could be in line with the vision that Snyder wanted, James Wan went to Snyder himself. That to me just goes to show you that Warner's was on the right track with Snyder. He had a plan. He had a vision. They got cold feet. They cut him short. They screwed it up, and he took the blame. And I do believe that. I absolutely 100% believe that. But I leave it to you, your thoughts, your opinions. Do you believe it? Do you not believe it? These are things I want to know. Let me know down in the comment section. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic day, and peace out. Hey, thank you so much for getting to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. If you guys want to get more up-to-date movie news and information, as well as breakdowns of trailers and other types of stuff, be sure to watch the other videos, click subscribe, and check back daily for more content from me. Again, my name is Matt Jarbo. This has been 3 Buck Theater. Have yourself a great day, guys, and peace out.